Okay, so today we're just going to do a quick demo of CSS3 transitions. And so what I've done here is on my personal site, I made a little demo, which is just a proof of concept, but it's kind of an idea behind a possible page layout. So on a page, you might have your content here and then some nav links up here, but then you might want like a toolbar that has this sweet animation comes out. Now you notice two parts of this. One is pretty subtle. You'll notice that it's a darker gray, and then as I hover, it gets a little bit lighter. And then,
I didn't notice that before.
yeah, it's kind of a weird, it's very subtle. And then it also comes out and covers that part. So this is just, it's like a short little demo. So if you go over to the code here, I actually did my styling just here at the top for convenience sake, but let me show you a little example here. So we've got toolbar here, which is where all the magic is happening. So here what we've done is I've created a transition property, and it's got width 1 second, comma, background 2 seconds. So the way that a transition works is that the width here is in connection with the width here.
It's the same variable?
So, yeah, so what this is doing is it's saying, hey, I want the transition to happen whenever the width changes. So for the toolbar, if this width ever changes, I want to do a transition effect. So the way that that's activated without using JavaScript is on hover right here. So whenever we hover over the toolbar, I change the width to 300 pixels. And you see up here that it's only 50 pixels. So what I'm saying is whenever width, the property of width changes at all, I want to do a transition for 1 second. Now you notice that there's a comma and then background as well. Well, you can apply multiple, you can apply a transition to multiple properties. So you'll see this corresponds with my background here, but whenever I hover over it, my background changes as well. So if we go back to the example here, you'll notice that the toolbar comes out a lot quicker than the background fully changes. So I'll do that again. So it's all the way gray, and it kind of just, it makes it to where it's got 1 more second of kind of fully changing the color before coming in. And there's all sorts of different combinations you can do with transitions. This is just one little simple example, but that's the concept behind it. It's one of those CSS3 properties, so you have to make sure that you have the right, what do you call that?
I was going to ask about that. I remember learning about it about 2 years ago, and now I forget.
Yeah, so there's different browsers that some of them are built with WebKit, some of them aren't. And so sometimes you have to put this little WebKit flag in front of it to make sure that there's cross-browser compatibility. So if you go to
go ahead.
And then you go to transition, it shows you that there's a flag. That's what I always look out for here. They also give you this nice table that shows you compatibility and then the flags to use.
You're right. The other one was Mozilla. Yeah. Mozilla.
Yeah, other one, or Opera for O. I don't think I've ever used that one, but it exists.
I don't have Opera.
But yeah, so it depends on your market. I know I took a class 1 or 2 semesters ago where the instructor works for Nike, like corporate Nike. And he talked about how they have to program for like IE8 and before, because they've got a lot of clients that still use that browser. So that's kind of the idea behind cross-browser compatibility is just depends on your market and how many of your customers are using what browsers and things like that. But that's the big thing behind transitions. We'll just kind of stop there today. Maybe we could do animations next time because they're similar. then we can go over activating them with JavaScript. So
Yeah.
actually, I thought this was kind of fun.
I guess what I'm surprised by, and I thought that some of this was done with JavaScript.
So I did two different examples. This one I'm looking at right here does not use JavaScript. It uses a hover event to be able to activate it. But in the other example I did, it does use JavaScript to activate it. So the idea behind it is that whenever this property changes, it will activate the transition. So in JavaScript, instead of doing a hover event, you can just apply a class to an element that changes its width, and then it will activate the transition. So, and then we can talk about that on Monday. But do you have any questions, Michael, on this stuff?
No, I think that was fine.
Yeah, this stuff's nice. It's not too bad to work with. So I'll just leave it at that. Anything else that you want to? Any other questions or anything else you want to go over for this meeting?
No, not really. I think I'm getting through the GitHub tutorials and trying and figuring that out. That's going to put me way behind,
Okay.
but you know, what the heck? I was hoping to have, you know, a couple of the items knocked out for this week, you know, that I could submit my first whatever review. So that's what I'm shooting for.
If you have any questions throughout the week, feel free to shoot me a message on Hangouts or whatever, and I can. Especially if you've been stuck on it forever, then you can. No point in wasting your grinding gears on little technical things. So.
Okay. Well, thanks for that offer. I'll keep the chat available.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, I guess we'll just keep it short today.
Okay. Thanks, Dan.
Michael.